I want to share some very important information about preserving your muscle for longevity. Did you realize that when certain people lose weight, it actually shortens their lifespan? Now, how can that be? I mean, we all know that losing weight helps you live longer, right? As you get older, it's very important that you maintain a good amount of lean muscle mass. As a side note, I do want to mention something that's very popular right now. People going on Ozempic that manipulate certain hormones to help you establish better blood sugar and decrease hunger and slow down digestion. What you should also know is it comes with a package. In certain trials, they showed that these drugs can actually significantly cause muscle loss. The weight that the person's losing is not all fat. And in one study, they compared it to a decade or more of aging. It would be terrible for someone to go on that drug, lose all this weight, and find out that it actually also lost a lot of muscle and then put them at risk for not living as long. As I read the study, it became very apparent what you're losing really, really is important. And when we're talking about preserving lean muscle mass, out of all the things that you can do for longevity, that is at the top of the list. Muscle loss actually starts for most people in their 30s. That's right. We have this peak muscle mass, let's say, 18, 19, 20 years old. And then in your 30s, it starts to kind of slightly go downward. I want to mention sarcopenia for a second because this is age-related muscle loss. And one of the ways they define it is that when you lose 20% or more of your muscle, that would be considered sarcopenia. Muscle helps regulate blood sugar. Muscle supports your metabolism and how you metabolize energy. When people start developing this sarcopenia, their risk for diabetes goes up, their risk for immune problems goes up, their overall mortality, the risk of dying goes up as well. On average, an 80-year-old will lose about 50% of their muscle. However, I am going to explain how you can avoid that. Of course, one of the most important things you can do for your muscle is called exercise, right? Did you realize that inactivity can decrease your muscle mass? How many people are sitting on their couch just like watching a lot of TV after they retire and they pretty much don't exercise anymore? The worst thing you can do for your muscles is not move. And the other point about that is, of course, you want to have the raw material to build proteins. So that would be grass-fed. Red meat is at the top of the list. But what do they tell you to avoid as you get older, right? Avoid red meat because it's going to cause cancer. That's a total lie. I think it's very, very important to spread out your protein throughout the day. You should probably do maybe 2 meals a day or even 3 meals a day, depending on how much muscle loss that you have. And then you should actually take that protein and even it out through the entire day to keep available protein there for your muscles to take in through the day. And this is one of the problems I have with a person being a vegan, especially as they get older, getting the quality amount of protein into their muscles. Another thing that's really fascinating about this topic is that insomnia is very deadly to your muscles. Poor sleep will drain muscle mass more than a poor diet. When you're sleeping, this is where all the recovery occurs with your muscles. All of the benefit of exercise occurs at night, not during the day or not during a stress event. And the type of exercise that you do is very, very important too. You want to do something that creates resistance on your muscles. We need to be able to create enough stimulus to cause the muscles to react and adapt to that stress. And resistance training is the most important secret to reversing age-related muscle loss. This should be a priority for you as you get older. It's very, very important. Regular resistance training, regular strength training. Your fat is a reserve for energy. Your muscle also has a reserve. And this is why your body can fast for a period of time. It could not eat for days or weeks. Where is it getting the protein? From your muscle. This reserve in your muscle is also there to be able to heal from an injury, to allow your immune system to tap into these amino acids because your immune system is all protein. The white blood cells, the repair enzymes, the enzymes to help grow your body are all protein. You also use amino acids to make glucose for certain tissues that are dependent on glucose, called gluconeogenesis, the formation of new sugar from non-carbohydrate sources. This muscle reserve matters. It's super important. Our body requires more protein during infection, during an immune crisis and after exercise. Having enough muscle also can influence your cognitive state. All these neurotransmitters are made out of, guess what? Protein. And the muscles are important in your lymphatic system because it's dependent on your muscles and how well that you use your muscles. When you exercise and you do some type of intense exercise, you also release anti-aging molecules. They're called myokines. They help with pain, they help with bone. Exercise is so important. There's another type of muscle loss called cachexia. This is muscle loss at any age. It's dependent on a chronic illness, whether it's cancer or some type of disease. Like in cancer, the body's stealing all that protein for its fuel. So in summary, these are the things that you should focus on as you age. Increase your lean body mass. And at the top of the list, consistent exercise, high intensity interval training, doing strength training, walking, stretching. Number 2, your diet. And I'm talking about having adequate amount of high quality amino acids from red meat. Now, it is not true that red meat causes cancer, okay? Grass-fed red meat, I'm talking about beef, lamb, super important. If you have any problems digesting red meat, which a lot of people do as they age, you should acidify the stomach instead of avoiding red meat. How do you do that? You start taking betaine hydrochloride, like maybe 4 or 5 of them before you eat the red meat. Build up the stomach acid. It's going to help you absorb not just the protein, but also minerals as well. Remember, we need this high quality protein for our immune system, for enzymes, for antioxidants, for the ability to detox, the ability to repair, the ability to maintain your muscle. Also, make a point of this, collagen. 30% of your muscles are collagen. Take a collagen supplement. Trace minerals and other nutrients are very important in the formation of muscle. I'm going to list the most important ones first, okay? Number 1, magnesium glycinate. Super, super important. Magnesium and the exercise will help you sleep, which will also help your muscles. Number 2, vitamin D. Number 3, zinc. Very important. And then we get other trace minerals like selenium and copper. The B vitamins are very important. Coenzyme Q10, very important. Iron is important, but I don't recommend taking that as a supplement. Get that from your red meat. But there's one more little cool thing I'm going to bring up that I'm glad that you stayed this far because this is like really important. I recently went from 185 to 191 pounds, and it was all muscle. And I didn't change anything but one thing. There's a certain type of cultured microbe that you can make. And the microbe you would use is called L. reuteri. I did a whole video on this. But this microbe has some fascinating research with increasing oxytocin, which is going to decrease stress. It's going to help your sleep. But also there's some amazing data that it can increase muscle stem cell. And I think it's doing it for myself. And I'm going to keep doing this. And if you haven't seen the video of me talking about it, I'm going to put it up right here. Check it out.